Let's go. Let's try that again. So you've played so many fascinating and different roles in your career so far. You've taken risks, and this is taking a risk. Like and now you're playing a superhero. So, what made you go for this character?
I never saw myself doing a superhero movie, but I really loved the idea of a superhero being a young woman whose power was her mind and her intellect, and I found that really powerful.
Yeah, how as an actor, how do you approach a character, a superhero that, as you said, fights with her mind and not with brute force?
I think it's more internal, and I think really trusting my director, SJ, to know that we were translating smaller things, more nuanced performances. Yeah, it was more, it came from a more subtle, nuanced place.
Yeah, so seeing the future, is that a superpower that you would like to have in real life?
No, I'm good not knowing.
Better not to know.
Mm-hmm.
So your co-star Cindy Sweeney has talked about how fun it was to shoot this movie on set. How was building that camaraderie with her and the rest of the cast?
So great. It was so wonderful to have them there and to see them work and you know, they're just wonderful, wonderful people.
Do you have a favorite moment with them on set?
There were so many times. I mean, we were on set a lot. We shot for a very long time, so mostly just like watching them bond and become friends was really great.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to prepare to play a superhero, but how hard was it prepared to play a paramedic?
That was really fun. I did a lot of learning. I worked with paramedics and I went on some ride-alongs and learned CPR and all the gadgets inside of an ambulance. It was fun.
Yeah, CPR is actually very essential in this movie, in some parts of this movie.
It's important in life.
It is. It really is. Do you have to train hard for that?
It's pretty easy to learn. It's just scary to do.
So I wanted to start with you, Tahar. How was becoming a Marvel supervillain?
It was great. It was a lot of fun. And it was like, realizing a dream. For real. It's like you think about it when you're a kid, you think about it when you're an adult, especially when you're an actor. And when you get that offer, you just, you feel blessed to be part of this movie. Yeah.
What did you find compelling about this character, about ethical themes?
His physicality, dexterity, his powers, and his psychological aspect. This what brings him to darkness.
So, SJ, I love that this film features a superhero that fights with her mind instead of with brute force. Did your approach change because of this? Because you've worked with superhero stories before, so did you approach this differently because of this fact?
Yeah, I think obviously the clairvoyance and the sort of psychological nature of her character was definitely at the front, and it was like, how can we make clairvoyance and this power interesting, and how can she be agile as a regular human being when she can see the future? So definitely we wanted to keep it grounded, because without that, brute force that she doesn't have, she needed to use her mind. So that was definitely at the front throughout the preparation of the film.
Yeah. So Tahar, I wanted to ask you about working with Dakota Johnson. How was working with her on set and sharing this movie with her?
It was an absolute pleasure. I mean, she's a great actress and a great person with a beautiful heart, which helps when you have to act with somebody. And we had a lot of fun, but especially when we were facing each other in a specific scene in the middle of the movie, the diner scene. That was pure acting, mixed in the superhero world. And I loved it.
One thing I love about this movie is that it is a superhero movie, but it's also about real life superheroes, like paramedics, as we were talking about, but also about mothers and about caregivers. Is this something that made you connect more with the story?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's what makes it feel really grounded and accessible and relatable.
So how was working with S.J. Clarkson? You mentioned that before, as a director in this movie.
She was amazing. She's such a great director, and I felt like I could trust her throughout the entire process, and I just felt like I was in really safe hands.
We don't get to see much of the suit, the final suit of Madame Web in the movie, but how was putting it on, if you got to put it on?
It was amazing. It's very, very cool to have a superhero suit made for you.
Yeah, how were your first impressions of it? Was it uncomfortable, or was it actually...
No, it's very comfortable.
The ending is very much open to a sequel, open to some kind of continuation. Is there something about this character that you would like to explore further?
There's so much I'd like to look at. I think, if they want me to come back, then I will.
I read that you really enjoyed the driving scenes and the stunt scenes, and you actually did a little bit of it, or like a lot of it. Did you enjoy this, and are you keen on keeping doing like more action movies in the future?
I love action movies. I would definitely do more action films for sure. And yeah, I'll do anything.
I don't know how big of a Marvel fan you are, but if you had to team up as Madame Web, if you had to team up with other Marvel superheroes, any Marvel superheroes for a mission, which ones would you choose to be in your team?
Well, see, this is my first kind of introduction to Marvel, so I feel like I would choose whichever superheroes have more physical strengths than Madame Web. I feel like she can handle all the intellectual stuff, and then I just need people who are like really strong or can like shoot lasers or like fireballs out of their fingertips or something.
That's a smart approach.
I don't know who those heroes are, but I'll take them.
Talking about Dakota, SJ, what made her perfect for this character?
Well, she's such a brilliant actor, and all the work she's done to date, from Suspiria, The Lost Daughter, Bigger Splash, everything she's been in, I've absolutely loved her in, and I feel that she had the qualities for it, and I wasn't sure if she would ever, contemplate doing a superhero character, but I think because this one was so grounded, and we both talked about the psychological nature of it, which was really exciting, and she just has such depth and breadth as an actor, and to Tahar's point, she's such an incredible person and has a big heart and comes in and really wanted to find the nuance and the pathos of the character, and I think that's important. It's really important to keep it grounded, because even though it is a superhero world, the more grounded it is, I think the more relatable it is, which actually makes it a better cinematic experience, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that, I love this is a superhero movie, but I feel like it also highlights real life superheroes, like paramedics, mothers, caregivers, all of that is highlighted in the movie. So is this something you had in mind since the beginning?
Yeah, I think you find superheroes everywhere, the same way you find magic in the ordinary, and I think it's really nice to sort of highlight that you don't necessarily have to be strong or to have this extraordinary power to be a hero. Everybody can be a hero in their own way.
Yeah, so Tahar, as we mentioned, you are now a Marvel supervillain, but if you wanted to change sides and come to the good side and play a Marvel superhero, which one would you choose?
Hard question. As an audience member, I think that my favorite is Iron Man. Yeah, he's a human being. He doesn't have any superpowers. He has fun, and he's a hero. Yeah.
Well, he's up for grabs now, so... So, last question. Obviously, without any spoilers, the ending of this movie is very much open for continuation or for keeping, exploring these characters. SJ, what would you like to see on a potential sequel?
Oh, I don't know. If I had clairvoyance, I'd tell you. But right now, I've not long finished the film, so I'm just going to put her out there in the world and see what happens.